Hi, I'm Rick Harsh, and have I got a message for you. It's a knife. Spanish knife. Best knives in the world come from Spain. Or somewhere else, I don't know. It's hard to say. If you're a kid, you want one of them French knives. We were supposed to film tomorrow night, but I fucked up and tried cutting my own hair, and I cut too much, and now it doesn't match the scene. I have to wait to grow some back, and look, it's kind of bobbed, I've cut my hair my whole life, just never gave a shit and cut. But now I got to try to make it match, because we're making a film. I got to make it match the other scenes. And I'm just trying to kill a little time here with my mouth while I open a new box of books. The book is America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots, a Diagnostic. And tonight marks 999 plus one Cactus Books. Cactus Boots books. America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots, a Diagnostic by Philip Friedenberg and Jeff Walton has reached 1,000. The reason I said 999 plus one is because I tried saying 1,000 as preparation for this video, and the thousandth is awkward. A thousand is not so bad, but the thousandth. Fuck hell. English is tough for some people because of things like that. Now, where in the hell? I'll be damned. I was looking for the green and the gold cactus, and let's go wander and see if we can find them. Our music is one of Philip Friedenberg's favorites, Arvo Part's Spiegel im Spiegel. And, that's appropriate because, things that are going on in Germany right now are interesting, and they're getting more interesting by the moment. Did you know that the Congress on Palestine that was to be held in Berlin was raided by the police, and they actually sent one Palestinian doctor out of the country. They wouldn't let Yanis Varoufakis speak over Zoom. And, as soon as I heard that, I thought, wait a minute. I'm going to be interviewed on Zoom on Thursday. That's tomorrow. By a German from Munich. And I'll talk more about that after it happens. But I immediately joined the political group DM25, Yanis Varoufakis' political organization, and building a fortress against Germans. It was really amazing. That conference was being held by DM25 and Jewish Voices for Peace, and the Jewish Voices for Peace are all over the world, I think, but there plenty of German Jews are part of it. So you had actual Jews getting their asses beat by German uniformed men, and just the irony of that is apparently beyond the German people. This is what the world sees is Germans beating Jews again. It's fucking amazing. One guy, one of the organizers of the conference, had a little placard that said Jews against genocide. and he was stopped and thrown out, maybe arrested, I don't know. But apparently they got a little rough with him because he got lippy. He said, "Would it be okay if I said Jews for genocide?" I mean, it's fucking the world has always been crazy, but it's getting to be impossible now to know what's good, bad, whatever. Now, what I wanted to do here to celebrate this is announce who got copy number 1,000, because whoever gets copy number 1,000 gets a free copy of Philip Friedenberg's Museum of General Ideas, I think it's going to be called. The book he's working on now and should finish this year, which I think we'll publish. And if it's good enough, fuck it. I don't know. Jeff isn't a bad artist. Jeff's the guy who does all the drawings for Phil. He can draw on iron like nobody else. But Nancy Reagan, Exxon Nancy with an umbrella, even better. What a book this was, and I can even give some of the details of how the book came to be, I don't think any publisher of my size, I'm 6'2" and I weigh about 175 or so, I expects to sell more than 100 or 200 copies of a book. I think there are a couple that are getting close to 200. One of them is over 200. My Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas, but I had to stop selling it eventually because I sold it to Zero Gram Press. And so when Zero Gram got it, I had to stop selling it. And I sold over 200, but Robert Stickley's book, Abundant Circuity, sold over 300. I mean, that's really amazing. I can't find the gold and green. I'll be damned. I really thought that they were over here. We're in headquarters has a bed quarters. See, that's where I sleep. That's Suleiman, to where he sleeps. My wife is in the other room. That she sleeps there too sometimes. And well, goddamn, I can't find I know I have them. I had one gold left. Maybe did I sell the last gold? Usually when I say I'm selling the last one, I mean the last available one. Son of a bitch. Well, maybe we'll have to go on without it. Well, but one of the funny things is what we did is it was so popular that it sold a lot. It went like wildfire, and that's a cliche, and it wasn't really like wildfire at all, which is one of the problems with cliches. They're not quite accurate. Selling like wildfire, weird thing to say. I would like to talk more about the book than I'm going to, because I haven't read it since it came out. And I wanted to be the first to read it. And so as soon as I got it, before I could even mail any, I started, I dove into it. But I found something the other day that, I'm going over here like this. See, there, it's a big room and all, but the problem is it's only so big. I can't open the desk drawer all the way. let's go over some of the things we find in the desk drawer. The FBI's Most Wanted. This is a book that I don't know what it cost. 99 cents. I bought it in 1996, 7, 8. I don't know. And look at this guy, Richard Gerard Backlage. He became a character in my second novel, Billy Verite, who bought this book and then went looking for the Most Wanted. And I think Richard is first here. Yeah, there's a little introduction. Oh, no, he's not first, but a character shows up in La Crosse, Wisconsin in my book he calls himself Richie Buck. It's Richard Backlage. It was based on Richard Backlage. It's a picture of my wife. Now this has on the 1 year anniversary, we made a golden cactus. Cost $25 because the gold is real to some degree. It's gold, something not exactly gold flake, but anyway, that's a sticker left from back then that I have in here. Okay, here's an interesting thing. This is from a newspaper in, I don't know what, in Slovene, Primorska Novica of October 7th, 2004. And this is, our topography is like this. We're at sea level right here. And then there are these, they're called the Brda. They're the Mediterranean foothills. There are a lot of good fruit grows up there, grapes and so on. And then the next level is the karst. And a train tunnel that goes up to the higher karst. It comes down to a very spectacular karstal backdrop to the Brda, and there's a tunnel that, if you're in that tunnel and the train's coming, you're fucked. Well, that's a family of bears that got hit by a train up there 20 years ago, or almost 20 years ago. I'm thinking that maybe I got the wrong box here, but I'm not sure. Oh, no, this is it. Okay. We got, see, what was the start of the Cactus Boots? Well, it was when Philip Friedenberg wrote me and wanted to buy, he wanted to buy the Cactus Boots. No, what am I saying? He wanted to buy my book. What was my book called? Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas. And he wrote me that he wanted to buy the book, and we really hit it off, and we started talking a lot, and this really works better if I find both sides of the communication. I found the original communication Well, Philip lives on Rugby Road in Buffalo, and that just cracked me up, Rugby Road in Buffalo, and we had this wild conversation, and I ended up sending him an Instagram song. I sang Metalhead Joe and Scratch Ass Jack loaded their pockets and they never came back. people still ask me where'd they go. Blank, blank. That's the number. Rugby Road in Buffalo. And then he wrote me back, and what I'm looking for now, I can't find. His response had Cactus Boots in it. And then that became, he decided that, he'd write a book while waiting. Back then, the mail was less regular, and so was I. But, lots of fruit, and a little bit of exercise, and meditation, and back to regular now. And anyway, that's not it either. Well, I got it somewhere. One day I'll read it. He's probably got it somewhere. But his response, he and Jeff sang it, and it had Cactus Boots in it, and he decided to write a book about a guy who bought a book, which is this one. Well, here I'll put it here. This one, Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas. While this guy is waiting for this to come, he writes a book, and that's basically one way of summarizing America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots. Very insufficient, like any quick summary would be. This book is wild, and it's definitely a book that probably it should be read twice. I don't like saying that because I don't want people to think, oh fuck, if I buy that I got to read it twice. Well, it's so fun to read that it doesn't really matter how many times you have to read it, but it really should be read twice, and would be, some of the pages are very short, like that, and that's a drawing by Jeff Walton. And let me see if I can find another. I've done this so many times. This is a favorite illustration, the peacock feather fingers guy. So after a year, we printed. Damn, I'm still thinking. I know they're around here. I'm still thinking. We'll find them. So we made the gold one, and we let people pre-order it, or we let them. They didn't have to, but it was a limited edition of 100, and we sold them all. And then after another year went by, I thought, well, what about just a nice cheap one? Really, it's the same price as the green one, but I decided on black and white. They agreed with me, and we put it down to 18 euros, which is only 2 euros off what it should be. It should be 20. That's the fair price, and nobody's getting screwed and nobody's getting rich. I think that's basically, if the economic world would follow that formula, we'd all be okay, and we wouldn't be on the brink of any wars or anything. Even that says word terrorist network. That's supposed to be me. I don't think it looks like me at all. Look, nah, that's Walton, and he got lucky there. He drew himself, and it looks like him. And he got lucky again with Phil Friedenberg. Looks just like Phil Friedenberg. But that, I look a lot better than that. Look at that. Huh? Yeah, I look good. Turns out that we sold fewer in the last year, but a lot of people just said, do you have any green ones left? Now the target date is May 17th, but we might not have enough money by then to print the next batch, because we've had a slump, but it'll be coming as soon as possible. We're going to print the green one again, back to the green, because people are saying, okay, I'll wait for the green one. I don't know why people don't like this one as much. Um, but the printer who used the green one to price our books and see what we did and what we expected of him and or hoped from him, and he this was the first cactus that he printed, and and he said, yeah, it looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. And I thought, well, I don't know if it looks better, but I mean, it's different. And it's 18, and now it's down to 15, by the way. that's how badly we want to. Well, anyway, as soon as the green comes out, it'll be our bestseller again. Right now, I don't know if we have a bestseller. Robert Stickley's is out of print. That we have to get back into print before we get this back into print. Well, because it is in print. It's in print. I've got. Look at this. Look at this. This is the Berlin Wall, and yeah, and I think I already told you that it's a cactus wall. It's a Berlin Wall, and yeah. So this is what I'm going to have this up when I do the interview tomorrow, because I'll be talking about DM25 and Yanis Varoufakis and how what the Germans are doing there. And I'm going to ask this guy, why are you doing this? I got lots of bad things to say about Germans. In this book, we'll be talking about my writing, I guess. We haven't talked. The guy, a wonderful guy, Draxtor is the name he goes by. Very creative guy, very knowledgeable guy, who's done some interesting things. Has had Cactus Boots on this show that he had, which I don't know how to describe it. It's like computer figures that move and talk as the people being interviewed move and talk. It's out of this world. He was unable to. I did not have the technology to do what was done, but Phil and Jeff were actually on the show. I was on the show, but not really. I don't know. I see. I can't describe it. It's almost. It's like 21st century cartooning. I'm not sure. Anyway, in this book, I talk about the participation of fascists in post-war Germany and the crimes of the United States in Germany and Italy, and how they saved so many fascists and put them to work in basically proto-Cold War bullshit. And so the Nazis never really went away, as the Mussolini fascists never really went away. And I'll be talking about that to see if I'm an anti-Semite or not. Because, if Yanis Varoufakis is an anti-Semite, Noam Chomsky is, a slave owner. It's really bizarre that the Germans are up to. But we're not here to criticize them. That's just something we do because there's no other way to talk about them. You got to criticize people who do such shameful things as Israel's been doing, and the Germans, and what they're doing is completely insane. Arresting people and calling them anti-Semites. That's what they were. That was the legal reason for closing down this conference violently, and arresting people and kicking people out of the country, warning Yanis Varoufakis not to Zoom. If he zoomed into Germany, he would be, he would get some kind of penalty. That's Assange territory crazy. Julian Assange, what a life he's had. I remember I was teaching one time high school students in Port Roche down the coast from here at the Maritime High School, And I had twins in the class that were the sons of the dean. The dean was a great guy, but I guess he'd be more of a headmaster. But the word they used was Raunatel, which I guess headmaster, yeah, leader, something. But he was a really, really nice guy, passionately trying to save maritime jobs in Slovenia, but he was also very right wing, and I just learned not to talk to him because I had to say very direct things to just cut him off. And his two kids were in my class, and they loved their father. They're great kids, and I remember that thanks to Assange, I was able to show them what the United States did in Iraq. And I'll never forget that was Julian Assange who got that video of unarmed men. Well, one guy was armed with a camera, so, and just blowing them up savagely, and someone coming to help them and getting blown up. Very much like what the Israelis are doing now. But Assange, has his own problems. The United States is trying to get him there. Biden, he could easily appease a lot of people who are already pissed at him for the complicit stance supporting Israel materially, no matter what they do. It's got a lot of people on the left upset and not wanting to vote. Not on the left, in the center. There's no fucking left. If Chomsky had a party, it would be left. That would be left. But to my thinking, Chomsky's a left center guy. So I'm an anarchist. I blame my mom or my dad. I don't care. Blame society. I blame society. And society produced this. So this is a book strongly and a satirical, hilarious book that's very, very much a warning shot fired by literature to the populace of the United States. Look out, look out. They're already here. They're already here. It's maybe too late to hide. It certainly was for these guys. They spent some time, the main characters are Phil and Jeff, they spent some time in my fucking brain where they found a replica Panama Canal, a perfect replica Panama Canal in my brain. Now, how do you think that felt? I was going like this, and there was some sloshing while I was reading. Very, very disturbing stuff. And then they came up with the Rick Harsh homunculus. And I'm going to show it to you because I don't give a damn what you think, of the way I look. I'll own this face, or die trying not to. There's Jeff, who drew Jeff, giant Jeff, and me, and look at the little lump down there. Would you like that to be done to you? Well, I guess I don't mind too much because I got stickers, and they're around town too. They're landmarks. Where did that sticker go? Well, you saw it before. Don't complain. Anyway, this is a Mandelbrot fractal. Thanks to Friedenberg, I know what a Mandelbrot fractal looks like now. And my son just recently ordered Mandelbrot's book, Geometry of something. Geometry of Topography? I don't know. But something like that. The natural geometry of nature, or the geometry of nature. Mandelbrot's initial fractal book and it's out of print. I got a used copy. It hasn't come yet, but it's got to swim the Atlantic to get here, and that's thanks to Friedenberg. And this is will always be one of the top two covers, because if I ever have another cover contest, best covers, we put a lot of thought into our covers when the authors allow it, and when not, the authors have put a lot of thought into the covers, and I usually like them a lot. But I think my favorites have all come from my very favorites have all come from Zach Tanner. Although this came from a guy who lives in Piran, the city where Joyce got drunk and slept on the marlstone and ended up with an infection that eventually led to his blindness. True story. Roberto Arlt, I spotted this, and this is from the picture that was on our flamethrower. So, I love this cover. I really love this cover. And this is me lucking out, finding the right guy. I went to last minute, went to a Rastava exhibition, and I knew the painter, and he said, sure, you can use it, and so we used it, and it was just at the right time, and Zach made it into a cover. Ideas are one thing, but to actually pull it off is another. I've talked about this one twice recently, but yet another. Sometimes the cover is also, a beautiful spine, and then the Jekyll and Hyde theme. You got Jekyll and Hyde from two different eras, two different movies. That's a great cover. Here's another one. This one was actually made by Jeff and Phil, The Philosophy of Creativity. David Miller is the author, a former professor of mine. They put him in this novel. Amazing stuff that they were able to pull off. This is metafiction at its highest level. And the funny thing is that it never occurred to me that it would be a difficult read. Particularly as I was reading it. I mean, there are a lot of ideas. There's a lot to keep in your head, and that's why it's worth a second read, because then you go, oh, wow, I get that now. There's a lot of that happens, but the first read, it's like Gravity's Rainbow. That it's got this reputation of being, a really hard book. Not at all. Ulysses isn't either. Finnegan's Wake, yes, that's hard. But The Philosophy of Creativity is a brilliant book by David Miller, and there are also some late writings of David Miller that come with Jeff Walton's drawings. But there's David. They did a beautiful job here, and it's done with there's just unquestionable affection in the work by Jeff Walton and Philip Friedenberg in his writing. He writes with, on top of everything else, genius is clear, but the affection as well. He's probably the most affectionate writer I've ever met, and his writing is just this is going to sound fucking corny, but his writing is a gesture of love towards the world. But, don't take that as a sappy thing, because there's the Dick Cheney particle accelerator, so the gloves are off. But the Marx Brothers were pretty subversive too. Anyway, that's 1,000 of these. Can you believe it? The royalties, I owe him about a year's worth of royalties, and he's already made more in royalties than I made selling my book to Zero Gram. And initial advance payments are way down from the 80s, 90s, especially for obscure writers such as myself. But it was generous. What they gave me was generous. We won't go into details. It's none of your goddamn business, frankly. I don't know why you even asked. And don't tell me you weren't thinking it. All right, I'm out of my mind. Fine. But you think you don't have any problems? Oh, wait, one more great cover. I'll be back. Just going to get another great cover because it may be the best. Tied with this one, with Cactus Boots. This is my novel, Voices After Evelyn. I think you get a good Chris Villa. I was going to say Jeff Bursey, but it's Chris Villa has a very nice review of this, and you can also listen to a reading of it on one of those. I always forget them, but one of those like Sound Bite or Sound World or World View or World Ear. SoundCloud. I think that's what it is. You can listen to this free. Look it up. Maintenance Ends Press. Voices After Evelyn. It's I've gotten one bad review of this, but it was from someone who's a personal enemy. I got a couple of them. And that we can talk all about that another time. I've done it before. They forced my hand in both cases, and it's always sad when that happens. But then there's a part of me that really perks up. It's like they become like a novel to me. For me when I'm writing a novel, there's no. I may joke a lot, but it's really no funny business. I'm not gonna no holds barred, no holds barred. In other words, I can break necks if I want to, and I can as I did in the Olaf book, I can talk about what would happen to Kissinger if he died in such and such way, and I'm not gonna do an update on that now that he's dead. But no holds barred. Okay, so that's what happens when an enemy comes after me in public space. So that was the one bad review I got of this. He put it on Amazon, and well, he's an unhappy guy. I'm a happy guy, so who cares? But Jason Snyder of Staten Island did this cover, and it was what I wanted and more. He knew what I wanted, and all the little details. You can't tell maybe in here, but there's the Evelyn, the dead Evelyn is there. And anyway, it's a wonderful cover, brilliant cover. Always wished I could draw. Wonder what would come out of this skull. But I don't envy this. I am in awe of the creativity. I love the collaborative spirit of Jeff and Phil, and I'm just amazed that we sold 1,000. And I've been waiting for this day. I thought it would come a little quicker, but the last few months have been a little slow, as I indicated. And look at that, I'm lopsided. I can't help but notice. Look at that and this. I really fucked myself. Anyway, we're getting towards 40 minutes, and that's my limit. So good night. 1,000 copies of America and the Cult of the Cactus Boots, a Diagnostic.